You know, you've accomplished a lot. You've developed a multi-million-dollar project that most developers who call themselves experienced have never gotten to the point where you have been successful at. But now you're in a scenario where you're going to need to evolve yet again. Yeah. And so what does that look like for you?
Pivoting for me means that I'm going to have to work it out on my own. I would love to work for the housing community land trust that I have developed and continue this work. But if that's not an option, I'm going to develop on my own, create my own company and keep it moving. I would love for this model to be replicated throughout the country, but that may be difficult because not too many metropolitan cities have the vast amount of parcels that Detroit has. Detroit is very unique in being a metropolitan city with a lot of space that could allow for the development and redesign of neighborhoods. See the signs in front of the homes.
Wow, this is amazing. I don't think there's any other place in the country that has a showcase of modular facilities sitting on a land trust similar to what you were able to accomplish here. So this is very impressive.
It's not pretty because the squirrels got to me. But this home right here, one of my favorites, is because this pathway is on an incline for wheelchair accessibility.
Okay, nice.
Hi, my name is Tricia Talley. I'm the Executive Director of the North Corktown Neighborhood Association, and today we're touring the Tomorrow's Housing Innovation Showcase that's going to display 7 manufactured homes that will be introduced into the first community land trust in Detroit to sell homes. That community land trust will be known as the North Corktown Housing Community Land Trust. Favorites because of the open floor plan. You have this wonderful area where you can put your TV, and you have this open, all of the windows and the light. The windows actually come with the blinds. And again, you have the appliances, the stove, the refrigerator, the washing machine, the stove, the refrigerator, the dishwasher, and the microwave. I grew up in Detroit. I've been in Detroit all my life. I graduated from Cooley High in '87. I've been in the North Corktown neighborhood since '98, so over 25 years. In 2015, I heard that there was a rumor of development coming to the neighborhood, and I was invited to attend a North Corktown Neighborhood Association general meeting, which is their community meeting that happens 4 times per year. I attended that meeting, maybe a couple of other meetings, and there was an election, and I was able to run as a board member. And I did, once I was seated on the board, I did explain to the rest of the board members that I was here to learn about the development and how the North Corktown community can be involved with redesigning their neighborhood. In 2015, I retained that board member seat through 2018. 2018, the NCNA board president at the time stepped down, and my board member suggested that I step into the president's seat, which I did. And from there, I was able to expand the capacity of NCNA. In 2018, from 2018 to 2022, I remained as the president of NCNA, and then I transitioned in June of 2022 to being the executive director with approval from the board. That transition was made to expand NCNA's capacity to bring in a project like this, and it worked. This has the prettiest bathroom of all of the homes. I know it's pretty dark in here, but you have 3 shower heads here. Very ample shower.
A lot of space.
Yep.
2 sinks.
Yep, double sinks. A lot of cabinet space, countertop space. So I like this home. I like the double closet. Pretty cool.
Yeah, this is a beautiful, beautiful home.
This one also has a full laundry room. So most of them have stackable laundry rooms, but this laundry room is stackable. I mean, excuse me, you can put a full wash and dryer in here.
Nice.
Yeah. Also, it has a beautiful deck. You can't view that right now, but it does have a beautiful deck. And I like also how the home is divided because you have your 2 smaller bedrooms on this side. And then you have this beautiful second bathroom that has a great soaking tub.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is fancy.
Yeah. And that's what I want affordable homes to be. It's pretty fancy, but they're affordable because too often when you speak, this is patio furniture, too often when you speak about affordability, there's always the move to give the bare minimum. And with modular homes, you don't have to give the bare minimum. You can give the maximum and still fall within a decent price range. North Corktown is a cozy little neighborhood. It's one of the oldest neighborhoods in the city of Detroit. 7 minutes from downtown. You can take Temple Street, where this project ends, all the way down to the Little Caesars Arena to Woodward. It is also the home of the Motor City Casino. Right across the street in Core City is the University of Detroit Dental School. Inclusivity is what makes North Corktown so special. I have always advocated for North Corktown to be an inclusive neighborhood with mixed income residents, meaning no matter where you come from, how much money you make, you are welcome in North Corktown. And we also want to pay homage to our legacy residents that have stayed and weathered the storms of living in Detroit. A typical day of being the executive director of North Corktown has changed dramatically since I took on the role in 2022. In 2022, I was everything, creating the agendas for the meetings, getting the meetings together, board meetings and general meetings, connecting with the media. Now, as I transition out of NCNA, I really stepped into a developer's role. Actually, since we signed the grant agreement with the Gilbert Family Foundation, I've been serving as a developer while also handling all of the issues that come with being the executive director of a small non-for-profit, making sure that all of our residents, if they reach out to us and they have any concerns, making sure that their concerns are met, making sure that this project goes off smoothly as possible. Making sure that our contractors and our owners reps are doing what they have signed up to do based on their contracts, making sure all of the finances are in order for not just this project, but for on our monthly reconciliation of all of the funds that are coming into the association, which has changed drastically. I also made sure that the association had audits under their belts. When I came on in 2018, NCNA was established in 2013, there were no audits, and audits will allow the foundation to go after larger funds. We didn't need an audit with this project, I believe, because of my connections that were made through Enterprise Community Partners, which gave us our first grant for expanding capacity as far as bringing in staff. Enterprise Community Partners has a beautiful long reach as far as funders, not just in Detroit, but throughout the country. And Enterprise Community Partners is also how I linked up with the Gilbert Family Foundation for funding this wonderful project. From the service drive on 16th Street I believe, to MLK, there are no stop signs. So people are used to cutting through 16th Street with a straight beeline to Martin Luther King with no stop signs. Now they're slowing down. I have contacted our city council person to see if we can get some stop signs and some speed humps, but NCNA will take care of that. That will be something they will have to take care of after my departure. But yeah, we get quite a few traffic. I've stopped people and let them know, look, I'm the developer, if you're interested in having a tour, and they're interested. And quite often we get people who are home for the holidays and they're driving through because they used to live in the neighborhood. And I've had people explain to me, this used to be here and this used to be here. A gentleman told me that behind this alley there were all types of fruit trees that grew in that part of the neighborhood. And he remembered all of the neighbors' names, and it's very interesting to see how they just literally slow their roll to take a look at the homes. We're in the largest home of the 7 homes. This home is 1,728 square feet with 2 bedrooms and 2 baths. This home has a master bathroom and a master bedroom on the main floor and a wonderful powder room at the beginning of the home. Although it only has 2 bedrooms, it has 2 balconies. There's one at the back of the home, and there's one on the 2nd floor, which serves as an entertainment area because it has a wet bar. It's beautiful. It would be a beautiful place to watch the fireworks and any other celebrations that are going on in the city. Like all of the manufactured homes, they come with the stainless steel and appliances, the stove, the refrigerator, the dishwasher, and the microwave. They all have either stackable or full laundry rooms for in-house laundry services.
And so who are these units for, and how much are they gonna go for?
These units are going to be priced at area median income of 50 to 80%. We're looking to price them all under $300,000. I'm hoping well under $300,000. We have applied for an NEZ by way of the Detroit Economic Growth Corporation. We're still hoping to hear about that application process, but so far so good. Again, the homes will be introduced into a community land trust. And for those who are not familiar with the community land trust allows for the homeowner to purchase the structure while the land is introduced into a community land trust. The homeowner rents the land or the parcel from the community land trust for a small fee. Our fee will be around $50, and that lease lasts up to 99 years. So that is part of the community land trust. Separating the land from the structure is part of what allows for great subsidies for the homes to be sold well below market rate. The community land trust also insulates the homes being below market rate from disturbing the market rate of the other homes in the neighborhood.
Wow, so why a community land trust? Out of all of the other options, the community land trust, where did that idea, I guess, sprout from? And what made you push so hard in order to do a community land trust right here in the city of Detroit?
Well, I did develop an open space land trust through partnering with the University of Michigan's Community Enterprise Clinic, working with Professor Dana Thompson. And in developing that open space land trust, North Corktown is known for its vast open space. And we wanted to preserve some of that open space at the time. And we also did not want to exhaust our resources on initiatives that we knew the planning department was working on, like providing affordable housing through securing the HUD $30 million Choice Initiative grant. So when I created that open space land trust, I happened to, as I was creating that open space land trust, I happened to be in conversation with Darnell Adams of the Gilbert Family Foundation when we were on a learning trip in New Orleans. And I was just venting to him that I thought it was unsettling that people were expected to pay $1,200 to $1,800 for rent, but could not get approved for a mortgage, because $1,200 to $1,800 per month, that is a mortgage payment. He heard me, that I believe was in 2022, and he reconnected with me in 2023, in August of 2023, after hearing that I had created this open space land trust, and he wanted to have the Gilbert Family Foundation partner with NCNA for creating a housing land trust. The housing land trust will allow for long-term affordability in neighborhoods that usually are on their way to being gentrified or are already gentrified. And North Corktown is one of those neighborhoods with our new housing stock. Most of them are duplexes or townhomes, excuse me. Most of the new housing stocks for North Corktown have been townhomes that have been priced well over $430,000, which is unobtainable for most people living in North Corktown. This project in the Community Land Trust is a way to create long-term affordability and put a family on the track for generating generational wealth.
So how would you define what gentrification is? A lot of people look at it differently. Some people say it is a positive thing, while other people say it's negative. What are your thoughts on, I guess, gentrification? How would you define it?
Oh, it's difficult for me to define, because gentrification it's usually the moving in of white people who can't afford to buy up the neighborhood and redesign the neighborhood for everyone, excluding the neighbors that are already there. And it basically locks out the legacy residents. Or if you grew up in the neighborhood, you won't have the option to return because you can't afford it. So it basically prices everyone out of the neighborhood. It's not very often that Black people can use gentrification to their benefit. And I think a community land trust will help with that. With an up-and-coming neighborhood, most of the times up-and-coming neighborhoods are not designed around the residents that are in the neighborhoods. They are designed around the residents, new residents to come, and most of the residents in the neighborhood, the legacy residents, they can't afford to stay in the neighborhood, or they can't afford to buy a home in the neighborhood, or even in some cases, if their property value goes up, they can't afford the property taxes. So gentrification, for me, it's just the displacement of people in legacy neighborhoods who can't afford to stay in the neighborhood, or they have to move out. This is a pocket park, and the house that this sits on, the parcel is shaped like an L. So this parcel is actually connected to this house, or the parcel in this house. And we're working with the assessor's office to split that up. The pocket park will remain within the community land trust, but we don't want the homeowner to be responsible for it. And we also worked with Citizens Robotics, who are known for the 3D printed home. They created the beautiful pavers and the benches, and we worked with James Lamont, I think that's how you pronounce his last name, his landscaping company. They've been responsible for putting the pavers up. They just finished before the weather got too cold. But yeah, that's going to be a pocket park for the residents of these homes to enjoy. There hasn't been any development in this neighborhood for almost 50 years. And the poles that are here, they cannot support the transformers. So DTE has given us a timeline. It was originally January, but now it's the end of February as to when we will be able to get power. So everything is on hold. We do have a real estate team on staff for selling the homes, and we have at least 80 people who are interested in purchasing these 7 homes. But that's
Wait, you said 80?
80.
Wow.
Yeah, that's all been placed on hold until we can get power. Right now, we're standing in the home and there's absolutely no power. And because we don't have any power, that means that I have to have security 24 hours. And that 24-hour security is quite expensive. So yeah, that's one of the biggest challenges. And I'm hearing that DTE has challenges throughout the city. And if I get the wonderful opportunity to do a second or third phase or even do this on my own, I would like to do some analysis on how DTE moves in comparison with other utility companies. Is this a problem that's exclusive just to Detroit? Or is it something that's spread out through Wayne County? And if so, how do other utility companies handle the challenge of in cities that are looking to become development friendly? Because Detroit does need density in order for you to get amenities in a neighborhood, which North Corktown has no amenities. You need density, and density requires people to move. And we're slowly getting those amenities, but those amenities are not for everyone. You know, we have Whole Foods up the street, but who can afford Whole Foods? Or for that matter, as much as I love Honeybee, they're very expensive. Their prices are comparable to Whole Foods. So who can afford that, especially if you don't have transportation? So yeah, that is our biggest challenge right now is DTE. And I'm sure our contractors, Nova Lab is serving as our contractors, would have more to say about that. But we're working to try to, if we can move that timeline up even a month, that would help. Instead of the end of March, if we could get power the end of February, that would be grateful. The City of Detroit, their planning review department, they've been wonderful in trying to help us coordinate something a little more sooner with DTE, but we're still, as of this morning, we have not heard that anything has changed with that time frame of getting power until the end of March. I think it's called the FH house because it meets HUD and Michigan guidelines. It's the only house that does not have a steel roof. But I like the layout of the home because it's much more roomier than it looks. And it has a wonderful kitchen. And it's very affordable. It really is. This is one of the affordable homes that can be constructed under $300,000.
Lisa has a lot of furniture.
She does. Lisa, one of the main reasons for me hiring her was that she mentioned, because we did a request for a proposal for interior designers. Just going to check on the side here. Yep. She mentioned that she had a warehouse full of interior design items, and I wanted to see the warehouse. And it's good. So this one also this is a full laundry room, and I think it also serves as a mud room as well. But yeah, she mentioned that she had a warehouse full of furniture, and she had been in interior designing for 15 years. And my thought was during our interviews, I got to see what's in this warehouse. And of course, she did not disappoint. And she did not miss with including culture from around the city and around the state. Her interior design skills are top notch, and I'm a big fan.
Absolutely.
As far as the approval from the city has been great. The planning department, the City of Detroit Planning Department, the Planning Review Department, the Assessor's Office. We have the Housing and Revitalization Department out here. They've been great. They've been supportive. City Council has been supportive. This home its approval is a little different because it meets Michigan and HUD requirements, where I believe all of the other homes meet the Michigan requirements.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
It means that your plans for building a home and the specs for the home should be approved by the state of Michigan. This home, and if I'm correct, I believe it is approved by Michigan and HUD.
Got it.
Yeah. According to our contractors, the inspectors were wonderful. Everything went pretty well. The homes were actually built in 45 days. Yeah, so it's not that necessarily that...
45 days?
45 days.
Is that including pouring the slab/foundation?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, it does. Oh, this home also sits on the slab, where the other homes, they have foundations that were dug out, and the foundation includes something called a superior wall system. I believe that's what it's called. So there are pictures of what the homes look like before they were actually set. We also work with A&G Construction. They have a family member that lives in the neighborhood, and it's a family construction business. They know their stuff about buttoning up modular homes, because that's another aspect of the project, is creating a workforce development for building homes like this, and also being able to draw a manufacturer company to Detroit. We have a couple. We have a couple in the state. We have one in, I think it's in Romeo or maybe Romulus.
Romulus.
Yep. And then we have Jonesville. So Janasco is in Romulus. And then we have Ritz-Craft, which is in Jonesville. And it's just a coincidence that in this neighborhood, we do have 2 modular homes that have been bricked up. Because they've been bricked up, most people did not know they were modular homes. And they were built in 2004, and they are Ritz-Craft homes. It's a sister and a brother. I've interacted with both of them through community engagement. And they were pretty satisfied with their purchase of their home. 20 years later, their response was they got more bang for their buck when investing in a modular home. What drives my work is community development, is getting involved with the community, is getting involved. I'm advocating for myself. So anything that I want for myself, I'm going to want for my community. I wanted to have a say in the redesigning of my neighborhood. I wanted to have a say in people being able to make reasonable choices about buying a home in this neighborhood, because it's somewhere I would want to buy a home. So advocating on behalf of the North Corktown community equates to me advocating on behalf of myself. And it always has, and it always will. There are things that I want for myself, and I want other people to have them. I've had many mentors. I don't know if I should name them because I worry about leaving someone out, but yeah, I have quite a few mentors. Sherry, she was a board member. She was my first mentor on the North Corktown Neighborhood Association's board. She passed away in 2017 after doing a wonderful job and guiding me into this right here, or how to do it, how to respond, how to react. Because there are certain things that Black women in particular run up against when you're doing this type of work. And Sherry gave me a very outline for how to gracefully handle that. And she basically said that not everything needs to be addressed at all. And I've been living by that. Working with Professor Dana Thompson, who's wonderful, working with the Congress of Communities. The team helped me survey the neighborhood to increase the attendance of residents so they knew exactly what I was doing. That was at the very beginning of me joining the board. Working with Woodbridge, who has Woodbridge Neighborhood Development. They have a great community output or outreach as far as their residents, and they are twice, maybe 3 times as big as NCNA. My project manager, I had a project manager who actually helped do research for developing the first open space land trust, and he ended up working as a project manager for NCNA. He helped basically with everything. He was not working in the traditional sense of a project manager because we had so many things we needed to get done, even before this project came along. But most of the support that I've gotten has been from women, and I'm very grateful for that. Not all of it, but most of it. There is a board member who stepped out of the backlash of what was going on with NCNA, and he was a great supporter of mine. Of course, Darnell Adams being a support, and just about everyone that came out to view the showcase. I consider them a supporter, and I'm very grateful for that. I've had a lot of wonderful people help me get to this point, and as nervous as I am about my time with NCNA ending, I'm very excited about my next journey, which I hope will be to expand on what I've done with NCNA. For other communities, I would recommend that you just start to meet, even if it's just the 2 or 3 of you. Barack Obama, his campaign started with grassroots. And I think grassroots is the basis for everything, particularly for Black people. 2-3 people can be very powerful in getting things done that you need for your neighborhood. And it also encourages other people. Connect with your city officials, your elected officials, connect with your representative in the planning department. Find out what's going on in your neighborhood. And if there isn't anything going on in your neighborhood and you would like for something to go on in your neighborhood, you can always advocate for that through your city council person and anyone else that will listen.
How do you feel standing on the balcony of one of your, is it 7 facilities?
Mm-hmm, seven units.
That you were able to construct for this development and this showcase? Like, how do you feel right now?
It's actually bittersweet. It's bittersweet because the North Corktown Neighborhood Association board decided at the end of the summer, mid-August, that they were not going to renew my contract and they're eliminating my position. So as of the 31st, I will no longer be connected with the project, but I feel I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited about what's to come, what's next for me, and this has literally been a dream come true. This is what I've worked with NCNA for 9 years to get to this point. Literally, when I started with NCNA, there was no infrastructure. There may have been like 10 people coming to the meetings, and I had a lot of support from a lot of other community leaders that helped me increase their attendance at the community meetings, the 4 community meetings that I held per year. Mm-hmm. And through that, I was able to just build an infrastructure with writing the sustainable development plan that's based on 16 to 18 months of community engagement about what residents wanted to see in their neighborhood with the development that was rumored to be coming. That sustainable development plan was then used to create design guidelines for the neighborhood, which we share with the developers when they come to NCNA for some type of community engagement regarding their project. But it is bittersweet. I'm very proud of the project. I'm disappointed in DTE. I'm very proud of the project, and I'm very proud of the experiences and the knowledge that I've retained from being involved with this since September of last year.
You know, you've accomplished a lot. You've developed a multi-million-dollar project that most developers who call themselves experienced have never gotten to the point where you have been successful at. But now you're in a scenario where you're going to need to evolve yet again. Yeah. And so what does that look like for you?
Pivoting for me means that I'm going to have to work it out on my own. I would love to work for the housing community land trust that I have developed and continue this work. But if that's not an option, I'm going to develop on my own, create my own company and keep it moving. I would love for this model to be replicated throughout the country, but that may be difficult because not too many metropolitan cities have the vast amount of parcels that Detroit has. Detroit is very unique in being a metropolitan city with a lot of space that could allow for the development and redesign of neighborhoods. Even in starting my own development business, consulting and whatever else I can do that's attached to development, I would like to do some analysis of infrastructure in whatever neighborhood I decide to develop in. And again, some analysis on what's going on with DTE in comparison to other utility companies. I would also like to make sure that if I have the privilege of continuing this work and going to another neighborhood, that I can analyze the needs of the residents in that neighborhood. So I would basically like to lay out a plan. I have to build some capital, find some money. So that's what I will be working on in January. If I don't have the option to continue this work through NCNA, it will be continued via my own businesses. If you're interested in learning what I've done, or if you're interested in starting a neighborhood group in your organization, reach out to me, Tricia Talley 313 at gmail.com, and that's T as in Tom, RICIA, T as in Tom, ALLEY 313 at gmail.com.